Hello everyone, you are all welcome to lecture number 1295, and today's topic is the role of synthetic ruby in the development of laser first time. So first time the workable laser was produced or developed by American scientist, physicist, that is Dr. Miaman. So Dr. Theodore Miaman and Dr. Theodore Miaman in 1960, he produced ruby laser, and that was the first application of such laser started. And Theodore Miaman is the father of, I can say, workable laser, and with different application and new technologies started after this workable laser. So what he did, he got the synthetic ruby, because there are two types of ruby. One is synthetic, other one is natural. So he got the synthetic ruby, means it made up of aluminum oxide or duped with chromium ion rod, and that rod was focused by simple light, and that light was capable of exciting the chromium ion into higher state, and that higher state chromium ion, after coming down to ground state, the energy photon was released, and that photon again bombarded to other chromium ion. In this way amplification started, and during that amplification process, finally the ruby laser was produced. And this here, the coloration of red and ruby is determined by absorption and emission spectrum. Absorption spectrum means when that chromium absorbed the light, so that light, it was visible in the range of blue and green. So blue-green range gave the visible spectrum of dark or deep red color. That was because of absorption of chromium ion. And then when the emission came in the form of laser, amplified, that was in the range of spectra, that is emission spectra in the visible range, it was light color, ruby color. So here there is a role of absorption and emission spectra of color, and this color laser, that is means light amplified and then emission radiation, that is used for different purpose. There are a lot of applications, like in optics, because it has very high refractive index, in spectroscopy, in different processing materials, and now it is very much important for different type of artificial jewelry, and also in watches. So it has lot of uses. So let me show you the rod artificial. So you can see here, by using artificial ruby, that is aluminum oxide doped with chromium ion, and it has given the laser, and that laser is the amplified emission of photon, but that one is appearing in visible spectra in ruby color. So this was discovered by the American scientist, and this was the first workable laser produced, and nowadays it has a lot of application. So this is the diagram of ruby cylinder, and where the mirrors are there and coils are there, so that it is light is absorbed, and that after absorption those chromium ions they will go in higher state, and after that they will come down to ground state, and there will be release of bundle of energy in the form of photon, and that photon again will excite the other chromium ion. It will be chain reaction, and during that chain reaction large quantity of photons will be produced, and they will be reflected, amplified in the form of ruby laser beam. So let us see the summary of ruby laser. Number one, synthetic ruby is a man-made crystals of corundum, that is we can say its ore name, and the chemical name is aluminum oxide, and the ore is called corundum, and that is doped with chromium ions, and the chromium ion give the crystals its characteristic of red color, and here characteristic of red color depends upon the visible spectrum red color, and one is emission spectra where it is absorbing light, and it goes to 690 that is 694 nanometer, and that appears red in visible spectrum. So this color red is because of such type of absorption and emission spectra of color. Number two, in the year 1960, Dr. Theodore Miaman. So Dr. Theodore Miaman, an American physicist, used a ruby synthetic rod to create first working laser, that is called ruby laser. And Miaman's design consisted of a cylindrical rod of synthetic rod and ruby, and that is 1 centimeter in diameter and 5 centimeter long, surrounded by white flash light. Number three, working of Miaman's ruby laser. Amplification of stimulated emission of radiation, that is called laser. So number one is excitation. Those ions were excited by the white flashlight, and that is your chromium ion, and once they are excited in higher state, when they will come down to their ground state, they will release energy, that energy in the form of photon, and that photon will follow the chain reaction, and the others will be excited, and in this way a lot of photons will be released, and that is amplified, and also that is stimulated. So number two, stimulation, emission, as the chromium ions return to their ground state by releasing photon, that I have already told you. Then these ions are amplified and bounce back and within a ruby rod, amplifying the light through stimulated emission. Number four, output. So after all this stimulation and amplification, the amplified emitted through one end of tube, it will be out from one end of the rod, creating a coherent beam of red light. And Miaman's that is invention of ruby laser marked the beginning of new age of laser, and also it opened the door for the development of doors for the development of more advanced laser applications. It has some optical applications because its refractive index is high, and it is used in watchmaking, in jewelry, as a synthetic ruby, and in optical properties because of its absorption and emission spectrum. It gives a red color, and that is because of 694 nanometer wavelength, and that appears red in visible spectrum. So with this I will stop. Thank you very much for watching the lecture, and again I will continue lecture on laser applications and what are the advancements after the year 2000, and those advancements are very interesting. Once again, thank you very much for watching the lecture.